Okay, I'm thinking the Netherlands. That's what I thought you said, Netherlands. Is it cool? All right. Anybody else? Ain't nobody do nothing exciting? I had to do a documentary, so I had to film and for 2 days straight. It was, when you got to dig up all them old emotions and old things that transpired, it's kind of tough to. Because I tell you, when I talk, I see. So when I'm talking, I'm seeing what transpired, and that's tough to kind of go back in those days and those times. But anyway, wonderful week this week. Can't wait to get on the field on Saturday. Like we've been away from it for a while. Coach Dillingham, love him to life, man. One of my classmates. We came in at the same time. What he's done for that program is unbelievable. Well deserved. I think he was the Big 12 Coach of the Year, right? Yes. Well deserved. Should have ran away with it. Should have even been close last year for what he did with the program and what he's doing with that program. I applaud him tremendously. His character, the consistency, what he's asking for his young men, and they got a quarterback down, and he's still fighting through the storms. And we were close to being on the same sideline at one point. We had a tremendous amount of conversations alluding to that, but he is one of my favorites. So I'm proud. I'm happy for the opportunity to play against his team this week, and it's going to be fun because I got love for the coach and everything he exudes for that program. Anytime we're recruiting a kid and they're in the runnings for you, first of all, I never talk negative about a program, but I always speak highly about his program to other kids that may not choose us per se. Students of the week, Reggie Hughes, tough defense, tough defense. Guys get after it. Secondary is pretty darn good. Front four is very stout. Offensively, they want to run the heck out of the football. They haven't had a lot of success with this gentleman throwing the ball. We recall him from a couple years ago when we played against Nebraska, correct? Same quarterback, same guy, same DNA. But what they're doing with him has been phenomenal over the last couple games. Students of the week, Reggie Hughes, Tunica, Mississippi. Noah King, Hamilton, Ohio. Students of the week, this week, Tavian Coleman from Humble, Texas. I like that word, Humble, Texas. Joseph Williams from Arlington, which is one of the guys I got to keep my hand around his throat, but I love him. Miscellaneous, Peggy, 101st birthday is Wednesday. Is that unbelievable? We got to give her some love, respect, appreciation. We come from different generations, but the love that I have for her is unbelievable. She's consistent with who she is. Her memory is sharp as a tack. Just always pleasant, always with a smile, always has something profound and peaceful to say to me. And I need her right now. No, I'm just joking. She just she brightens up your day. 101 years old Wednesday. So let's make sure we tweet, post, and do something. Happy birthday for her coming tomorrow. Juju was phenomenal last game. Second most yards for a true freshman starting in CU history. Marion has been Marion. Mata, despite his miss, CU record 105 straight PATs. Preston Hodge leads the Big 12 in pass defenses. Leads the Big 12 in pass defense and ranks fourth in FBS with 1.3 per game. Quentin Gibson ranks fourth in NCAA, first in the Big 12 in combined kick return yards with 571. That only means we getting our butts kicked and they score, and that's all what that means. Other sports, soccer. I love my soccer guys to life, man. I'm so proud of them. Wow. In the NCAA tournament, it heads to Michigan State to play Xavier on Thursday in the second round. CU beat Utah Valley on Friday to set a new program record for wins, 16-3-3. They are balling. Volleyball, love them to life as well. It's now 21-6 and 11-4 in the Big 12 with 3 matches left in the regular season. They head to West Virginia Wednesday. As well, cross country, the men's and women's teams both finished fourth at the Mountain Regional Championships and both qualified for the NCAA Championships, which will take place Saturday in Missouri. Men's basketball is flat out balling. Women's basketball, I love my girl to life. She is a coach. She coaches her butt off as well. 2-1, only losses at number 22 Louisville. They almost won that. So the other sports are doing wonderful here and they're great. Let's jump right to Rick. I love Rick to life. I don't feel like I'm losing him because I feel like he's still going to be a part of the program. He didn't leave because of what's transpiring this year. It was already a plan in place that Rick was going to step away from his original post, but he's going to still help the program. I love him. I mean, I wouldn't be here without him, and we've talked extensively for a while about this decision that he's making, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be in good hands. They've already started the search, and they already started some wonderful things, so I'm pretty sure with what I know from the persons I'm in contact with here, they're going to make a great selection, so I don't doubt that by any means. Let's go.
Thank you.
Hi, Coach. Hope you're doing well. Nikki Edwards, Yahoo Sports. At this point in the season, how do you balance preparing for game day as well as preparing for the future?
Game day is the future. I mean, you win, it helps the future. You work hard, you go at it hard. It's no different. I mean, the thing about it, the preparation shouldn't be different if you were winning, if you're getting your butts kicked. It shouldn't be. The record, to me, is not indicative of who these young men are, who these coaches are in between this wall, who this program is. The ball's just been bouncing our way, and we got to do something about it, and we're going to do something about it as soon as the season is over. So it is what it is. That's the way it is right now. It is what it is. But we're going to make the best of it. We're not going to hang our heads and have no pity party. We're going to go about it like we're playing for a darn championship.
Hey, Coach. Pat Graham.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Two-part question first. First of all, any plans to go to Vegas to see a certain Browns quarterback on Sunday?
Don't know. Haven't made that decision as of yet. I'm so focused on what we have at hand. I'm not thinking about that, although I just got off the phone with him a minute ago. But I'm really focused on what we have at hand.
Okay, and my real question is, given everything that's transpired with you this year, you're overcoming cancer and the losses.
Right.
What has kind of reaffirmed your desire to keep doing this?
This is what I do. This is who I am. If a loss can influence me to shut it down, so what does a win influence me to do? Like, I got to rock steady. I got to be the same guy. And I think I have been. I think I come and present to you guys win or loss. I'm a little more up apparently because of a W, but I don't dismiss you guys and not talk to you guys and not shoot you guys the truth in any situation. So it is what it is, man. You just got to rock steady. I don't teach these young men to be influenced by good day, bad day. You got to make the day your day.
Brian, go ahead.
Cool.
Hey, Coach. Brian Howell, the Daily Camera. I have two questions for you. One, just follow up from Rick.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have had a great relationship, obviously. How valuable is it for the football coach to be in line and in step with administration, whether it's the chancellor, the AD?
I think it's proper. I've never had it any other way. When I was at Jackson State, Ashley Robinson was my guy. He's still my guy. I just spoke to him yesterday. I love him to life. Rick is always going to be my guy. So that's apparent because you're like hand in hand. But he had to do what was best for him, man, and his family, and I'm happy for him, man, his beautiful grandchildren. So I'm happy for them. I really am.
I mean, like going forward, is that a valuable thing for you to have for that next AD as well?
What, a relationship?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would like that. You would love that. You don't want anybody to come in here that you're at odds with, and I'm not at odds with anybody. Like I'm not built like that to just be messy and nasty and hateful. Why? I mean, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed, too blessed to be stressed. I don't function like that in ignorance and animosity. I don't move like that.
I do want to ask you one question about this team.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first week that bowl game carrot is not there for this team
Right.
anymore. Have you seen, as you've come back from the break, that there's still that motivation and that want
Yeah,
to?
I asked a question in the meeting room this morning. I said, out of all the groups that we have, meaning cornerbacks, linebackers, receivers, so forth, who's going to take it up a notch today? And 3 groups popped up. So I put it on. I think the linebackers and the receivers stood up first, so they say it's on them. They went out there and worked their butts off today. They had great days. So I ask the team that every day, and each group stands up. They're accountable for what transpires on that practice field. And those guys popped up quick with the quickness, and they had a good day.
Coach Jack Carlo, good to
Jack,
see you again.
my man.
How's it going?
Excellent.
Kind of similar to Brian's question, just outside of obviously wanting to get another win or two, just
Right.
what does finishing strong look like to you?
Winning, quarterback developing, offensive line doing their jobs, defense staying stout, not giving up nothing deep, nothing cheap, getting to the ball, being physical, because not only are you want to win, but you're evaluating. You're evaluating young men as well as the staff. Like, where do you go? So you're doing a lot of evaluations when it's coming down the home stretch, and you want to see that passion. Anybody could be happy and enthusiastic and got that fight in them and that dog in them when it's all up. But when it goes left, that's when you take an eye and look at the room and see how you guys move and see how you think and see how you get down, and is there consistency, or were you waiting to attack the whole time? So it's like that with the young men. I look for a plethora of things in these guys.
Hi, Coach Adam Wilson Tiger, 24/7
What's going on, Adam?
Sports. Not much with Juju. What have you seen out of him since that start? Has that kind of been a springboard for him?
Growth, yeah, because now you've gotten out there, you're seeing how it is, you got to lay of the land. Some of the mistakes you made, we don't expect you to make those again, because now you understand what we want. You got game action, you got live action, you understand where the blitz is coming from, what they're going to do to you. We got packages for that. We got things implemented in those calls. When you feel hot, you feel heat, let's get out of it. Let's go to something else. And you know what we got to do on first downs and how valuable that is. You know, young quarterbacks come in, sometimes they think it's 707. Because 707 is taking over the country right now with high school football and whatever. So they got to understand, no, this is football. You got to get a little bit at a time and move the chains, and not just chunks. So you can't think like that. And he's doing a great job of maturing and understanding how to study film.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwannis, DMV.
What's up, Jake?
Not much. How are you doing?
Good.
I wanted to ask you about Yo-Yo. I mean, we talked to him last week. I
Yeah.
mean, he made the Big 12 Team of the Week and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Just how rewarding is that to see a guy like that really develop in such a short amount of time?
It's great because I bet on Yo-Yo. What I mean by bet, I don't actually put money like that. I'm not a betting man. I'm too cheap to bet. But when I say I believe this kid is going to ball out, watch this. That's what I mean by betting on somebody. And Yo-Yo has proved me right. He's proved me right because it's easy to ride with somebody who has a work ethic. A guy don't have a work ethic, I'm not putting my name by him. I'm not riding with him. I'm not betting on him. Yo-Yo has the work ethic, and he wants to be great. Not good. He wants to be great. And he's flat out hilarious. He don't have bad days around here. He's like that Ben attitude. They don't have bad days. They make everything they face happy. They're those guys that infuse happiness and joy in their teammates. Love Yo-Yo.
Scott, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. How
What's
you
going
doing?
on, boss?
Not too much. Scott Proctor at DMVR. You mentioned, one of the things you're looking for these next couple weeks is quarterback development, and you touched a little bit on Juju. Now that he kind of has the first start out of the way, what's kind of the next step, maybe the next obstacle that he's going to have to overcome?
I'm understanding what he sees and ride with it and taking what they give him and let that be it. But we got to be much better on first downs. I've had initiatives since day one. We got to be better. First downs, we're trying to get 4 or 5 yards on first downs. When you don't, now you're behind the chains and it's tough. Now you got to try to get 5 to 6 on the next down to make a palatable third down. But this kid is starting to understand the game a lot more mentally, psychologically. Physical tools it is what it is. He has it. But really understanding the game and how it's played from the defensive coordinators to our coordinators to the personnel that he has around him.
Just one follow-up. From your perspective, what's the key to staying on schedule on first down and making sure you put yourself in advantageous, second and short or second and medium?
Being creative and understand what we have. Do you understand what we have on offense? Like, it's hard to deal with 4. 9 can fly. 8 can do his thing. We got a tight end that this kid can really play. I mean, I'm talking about he can really play.
Zach?
Yeah, and we just have not gotten him in the situations that we should have, but this kid can flat out play. I think this kid has pro ability. The line has been suitable and valuable. They've had ups and downs a little bit in the season here and there, but for the most part, these guys have been blocking their butts off, and we got running backs that can run. So with all that I just said, we should move the ball, and we should have some consistency in that.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. You mentioned kind of all the evaluating you do at this point of the season. How valuable was the week off to do some of that, whether it's from coaching staff to roster management, all that kind of stuff?
Weeks off are great when you got a ton of injuries like we do, and you hope to get guys back. And some of those guys should make it back this week. Some of those guys may not. We have an injury bug for sure, but we're hoping the guys that really love it, really want it, are going to go out there and give it a shot and do what they're capable of doing. But sometimes you don't want a bye week, man. Sometimes you just want to ride. You want to just roll with it. You want to go. You want to go. But I think it's great for our quarterback to get some time away. He didn't even go home. He stayed here and just hammered. I think he had an hour worth of film time before we left. We come back, he has 9 hours. That's what you want to see.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. I saw you were test riding this weekend. Did you find anything you were looking for?
Yeah,
Good. I'm glad.
I did, but it was a little rough.
Is that right?
Yeah, I forgot that my groin had
Right.
surgery, and the horse was playing pool. The horse I was on was playing pool. I'm just telling you.
I got you. I appreciate it.
Just read between the lines.
I saw that you did a sit down with Mr. Champ Bailey, and I was watching that. And you told Champ that you missed at a few spots this year, which, look, nobody bats 1,000.
You know the thing about I'm sorry for stopping you, but I got to interject right there. I'm brutally honest with y'all, man. I tell y'all the truth. You can't get upset or attacked when I tell you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. That's what happens. That's what happens with everybody. Like, think about all these other teams that were supposed to do this. When they don't do this, you can't just. God's giving me something. I'm just trying to compute it and give it to you. I hadn't forgotten how to coach in a year. Like I hadn't forgot how to coach in a year. A lot of these wonderful coaches out there that is not winning this season, they hadn't forgotten how to coach in a year. We did some things we should have done. That's on us. It's on us.
And I appreciate that honesty, for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason why I bring that up is because I'm curious. I mean, putting myself in that position, if I feel like I were to have missed, I would want to do things maybe differently or learn from that.
Exactly.
In player evaluation, what have you learned from this year?
God, I can't say what I want to say.
I appreciate it.
Let me try to give it to you in a way I can say it. I know what I want. I know what I should see. And this year I'm going to see it. That's the best way I could place it to you. I'm going to see it. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I'm going to see what I want to see.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great question, my man. You always come up with some good stuff.
Coach Shane Holcomb, Scobo Sports. It's good to see you. With the transfer portal, becoming this fluid marketplace, recruiting and retention's become new recruiting, right? And so as the season comes to a close these next few weeks, what do those conversations look like with some of those players maybe looking to, take a step away from Colorado?
Well, say the last part again. I'm sorry.
What do those conversations look like with some players looking elsewhere?
Well, you don't know. You hate to use the word assume. You got to kind of predict that you may lose 10 to 12%. You got to predict that at certain positions, what you could lose. First of all, we know people that know people that know people, so we know who's talking to who's what. We know that because that's just the way the ball bounces. But we're prepared for everything. It's not like if this happens, that was a surprise. No, it's not. That was a decision that we knew you would make because that's who you are. But also, it's decisions that we're going to make because that's who we are. So you got to do what's best for your roster. You got to do what's best for your team, what's best for the players that are very impactful. You got to put something around them to make sure they could blossom, and you got to make sure these coaches have what they need to work with.
Coach,
and we're going to do that. I promise you that.
Brandon Cristal from Gorilla Sports. I have
Yes,
two
sir.
quick ones for you. First is, we know it's a question of when, not if, but can you take us in the emotions of Shador going into the game and just as you're watching it as a dad?
I was in the office alone. I told him this past week that he was going to play. It's going to be one way or another. I thought the Ravens would have played better early on to provoke him getting in. I didn't want him to get in by injury because I'm fond of Dylan and I want him to be successful as well. But I didn't want that to happen. But getting in the way he did, I know there's going to be some inconsistencies of a lot of things because I know football. But I was happy for him just getting the opportunity and running on that field because I know the fight behind the fight. Yeah, if I can say that modestly. I know what's been transpiring behind the curtains. And I'm just proud of him because he's not just saying the right things, he's doing and living the right things. That's just who he is. And I'm glad through trials and tribulations there has been a consistency of the thread that he's been speaking. And just like the things you guys heard for a couple years, that's who he is. And they keep trying to make him out to be somebody else, but he is who he is. He's a Sanders.
And then you said you know some of the names that the administration is looking at. How involved would you like to be? The landscape has changed of what a AD is these days versus what it was, when you were in school. So
Right.
how much do you want to be involved in the process as they're narrowing?
I want to coach football and win football games. That's what I want to do. I don't need. I could be involved as much as they want me to. I'm not that kind of guy that I gotta have say. I'm not built like that. Contrary to what anybody would think. I love this game. I love these young men, and I just want this program to be the best it can be. I'm pretty sure they're going to make a wise decision. We have a chancellor and a president that's on their game. They're on their game. They know what they're doing.
Ron Scholes from Ralph Report. Hope you had a good bye week. You spoke a little bit in your opening statement about Jeff Sims and your guys' familiarity with him after that Nebraska game 2023. When you watch the tape of him in this Kenny Dillingham offense, what stands out to you outside of his mobility?
They're using his skill set. They're using his skill set to make sure he's successful, this offense is successful, and they're using him the best way they possibly can and trying to highlight his strengths, not his weaknesses. And they're doing a great job of it. They really are.
Two more, Brady, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Brady King, Denver 7. You mentioned knowing Shedeur was going to play. Do you offer him any advice that you'd be willing to share
I'm his
share with
dad.
us?
I'm his dad. So, of course, because I know football and I know him and I know what I see and I know some stuff behind the curtain. So I offer him not just on the field advice, off the field advice, life advice, because he's going through a lot right now. A lot of stuff is coming at him. And he's doing a great job. Thank God that God prepared him for everything he's dealing with. I mean, I think a lesser man would have crumbled. But he's been built for this. And who else is built for the adversity like he is, like going into the NFL? I don't think it's too many quarterbacks that are built like that for the adverse situations and not having the best of things to happen around him. I think we've always done that. We've never had the best of anything, set aside lifestyle, lifestyle. I tried my best to do what a father should do. But when it came to playing on the field, we never had the best of this, the best of that. But we've made the most of this and the most of that. I applaud the young man, man. I'm just proud of him. I'm proud of him. We're trying to buy a house together right now. That's what we're trying to do. So the hiccups in that because we go back and forth. He wants to master. I say, well, put more in.
And then senior day, switching to your team. Guys like Arden Walker, what will it mean to you just to see them take the field one last time?
Emotional. I don't know how I'm going to act. Arden and all those guys are great, but let's go back to some of the guys that has taken this journey with me the entire time, like Mata, like JB. And, some of these guys, man, that's, to see my little Mata run on the field probably for his last time at home, man, that's tough. JB, because I'm seeing these guys as freshmen. And I saw them come in at Jackson, man, and they bet on me. They bet on me, man. They took a chance on me. And I applaud that. And I pray to God that I have not disappointed them as a man, as a coach, as a leader. Those are the things that make the most sense to me. Because when this game is over, they got to carry these meetings, these talks, these conversations that we've had, and I pray to God that I've done my job to prepare them for life. And I love them. But those it's going to be tough seeing some of these guys run on that field for the last time.
Last one, John, go ahead.
John Dreech, 9 News. Coach, you've hit on all the unique forms of adversity that have happened this year, whether it be your health, the
Right.
losing, the AD leaving. They're all happening at once. What kind of challenge is that for you?
I think God spread them out a little bit. they didn't hit me once. I think God, He allowed this. Like so. I'm. Please understand. If anybody is built for adversity, I am. If anybody is built for change, I am. If anybody is built to overcome situations and trial and tribulations, I am. You got the right man. I promise you, you do. And I'm going to prove that to you. I am. Just give me an opportunity and give me a little more time, and I'm going to prove that to you. I will. I promise you that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you. God bless. All right.
You already know what it is. Big Dog Chico back up in this thing once again. Shedeur Sanders just hit the podium for the first time since being named the starter for this coming week versus the Las Vegas Raiders for the Cleveland Browns. We're going to see what Shedeur Sanders had to say as he gets ready to prepare for that first start this week with a whole week of practice with the first team offense, throwing to the first team wide receivers, taking snaps from the first team center, making corrections and audibles behind that pass protection slides and stuff like that behind that offensive line. I think we should see an improved Shedeur Sanders and improved Cleveland Browns offense. And I think they're going to Las Vegas to get a win, dog. I think they're going to Las Vegas to get a win. No matter who that quarterback is, whether it's Kenny Pickett, who they traded for from the Browns, or whether it's Geno Smith, who's been struggling as of late, will be the quarterback. We shall see, but I think Shedeur Sanders will go in there and get a win. Let me know what y'all think. Get a like, subscribe, hit the like, subscribe, comment, all the other good stuff. Get in the chat. Put a W in the chat for Shedeur Sanders. Here we go right here. His comments from today. Let's go. Shiggity. Shout out to Mary Kate. Mary Kate be asking the questions to Fancy like she don't care. Listen. If Shedeur is not practicing with them, how is he going to be, to his best, playing to his best ability? Answer that question, Kevin. So Shedeur is coming up next as he's approaching the podium right now. Y'all saw what happened last game. Shout out to LeJontay Wester also coming up there to support his former quarterback. And Shedeur took a couple of beatings, dog. We'll go right here. Also dealing with a burglary at his home.
What's going on? How's everybody doing? I'm doing great. Can't complain. Yeah, mentally, emotionally, I'm in a great place overall. In life, it's always going to be adversity. Things aren't always going to go, as planned. But I would say, I'm prepared for everything.
What's your plan to approach this week, knowing now that you are going to get your first NFL start?
The same how I always am, knowing exactly where everybody's going to be, prepare, understand that they have a great defense, they're coached by a great coach, and they have great players on that side of the ball. So just doing what I can, to prepare mentally, physically, emotionally, to make sure I'm my best self.
Respected the opponent.
I don't think too much into that, Like I think in the moment, present, today, I go over the game plan and make sure I execute that. When you start moving too fast in life, sometimes you miss the small details of things. So I never want to overlook anything.
Right, Shedeur.
The 24, 48 hours after the Ravens game, what was your kind of process like in terms of deconstructing that game, going through your reps, and what were you able to kind of pull away from that you can build off of and as positives?
Really, the positives from that game is just being able to go in there, breaking that barrier, coming off the sideline for so many weeks, and being able to do that. I don't think a lot of people understand, how challenging that is from a rookie going into a game. Now, a lot of NFL vets, backup quarterbacks, they've been in the league. You feel me? I'm just coming out of college, So it's a different feeling, but I enjoy it. So, as the game went on and, I settled in, okay, I know what's going on. So, as long as I get comfortable, which I am, each and every day, seeing the guys run the routes and being out there.
And that's what people saw him get settled in that fourth quarter. Throwing the more passes he made, the more chances he got, the more settled he was able to get, the more comfortable he was able to get. We can only imagine what that could be for this next game coming up in Las Vegas, a team that could have drafted him.
It feels good. So I know for sure I'm going to do everything in my power, and as a team, we're doing everything in our power to make sure we have success on Sunday.
Chico, how much are you looking forward to this week, getting all of the first-team reps, because Kevin said you're going to get all of them, getting all of those first
As he should.
finally for the first time with the starters, and then having Tommy design a game plan to maximize your strengths and your skill set.
Right.
Yeah, I'm truly excited for that, knowing that, I have a piece of offense and a say-so and how things fit my eye and place the players exactly where they need to be, seeing how they come in and out of routes, seeing the structure of the alignment, seeing they set, just having a feeling. Like I'm more of a feel type of person, so that's how I learn. That's how I do everything. I'm gonna just watch it. It's just gonna happen. No, like I gotta be out there, feel it. I gotta move around. It's like so many
work with the
details
other
that it
guys.
takes for me, to feel my best and play my best. And I'm doing everything in my power, and the team's doing everything, to help me get prepared.
That's right.
You've worked behind the scenes. Obviously, we haven't gotten to see you at practice since training camp, but what are you most proud of, I guess, with your development so far, and where do you feel like you've grown?
I would say definitely, I would say mentally, emotionally. I know this is a trending topic that my house got broken into, but I'm in a mental space now to where, it's not too much that could faze me, honestly.
I bet you he don't even have to worry about that right now. I bet you guys like Bug, Young Money team, all of his management crew, probably Pretty Ricky and everybody else, Bucky, they're probably up there at his house right now, taking care of that, making sure things are straight, probably relocating him or adding more security measures, whether that's dogs, 24 hours personal security, a person staying there 24 hours, something is going to change, and it's probably already done changed with Shedeur Sanders and the way he's living, or the fact that he just doesn't have to even put any second of thought into what's going on at his house with the burglary because he has a team around him that's handling that. Shout out to Boo.
That's going on. And none of my jewelry got took anyway.
Easky.
By the way, none of my jewelry got took. So it's just caught slipping. It happens.
None of my jewelry got taken. None of my jewelry got took. Just got caught slipping. It happens sometimes. Shout out to Shedeur.
You mentioned after the game on Sunday how you like to really understand the details of your receivers and what they like.
None of my jewelry got took.
Just historically for you as a player, how long has that process typically taken you as far as, getting to a point where you guys can see what each other wants without maybe actually having to see what each other wants?
Well, I would say I definitely have a realistic approach, and I know my development, as a player and everything, and mentally and everything, has to speed up due to the situation. So I just like new challenges, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun going out there, doing what I got to do. And the fact that we are up against time, we are up against, growing real fast. So that's what's exciting. That's what, is the rush, that everybody feels. That's what excitement. That's when everybody going to be in the stadium lit to understand how quickly, it is going to take for us to have success. And I truly believe it won't be long.
I know you have probably been envisioning.
Shout out to Shedeur Sanders, man. See why they call him grown.
What's your philosophy on managing expectations in a situation like this?
I would say for sure, I'm my own biggest critic, you know. So, in certain situations in the game, even in that fourth down of that last game, I wish I would have just extended the play, you know. So mind you, I don't listen to critics. I don't listen to anybody has to say that's not within the organization, not within the team, not within the family or anything, because it's like
Smart.
everybody have their own perspectives, but they're not out there doing it, you know.
Right.
So, or they done it in their past life and their time has passed. So I'm just thankful that I'm living in the present and now I have the opportunity to go out there and do the best I can. Will there be mistakes? Of course, but it wouldn't be as many mistakes, you know. We're trying to minimize those most possible.
Chico, what was your dad's reaction to you getting the start, and will he be there on Sunday?
Quite honestly, right now, I'm not even like, I don't know. I'm so focused on what I'm doing. I don't even be talking to too many people right now.
I'm sure you talked to him though, yeah?
You talk to him though, yeah.
I ain't talked to him today or yesterday. I talked to Shiloh. Shiloh called me, but I said, bro, right now, if you want to talk, everybody just fly in and come see me, bro. I ain't trying to be on my phone. I'm not trying to do any of that. If you want to talk, just pull up on me, you know, and then we can talk from there. But other than that, I don't even check my phone. Too many people have been texting me, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. I didn't get robbed. My house did. So,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think. Like I say, whenever it's either, I just say, bro, let me know. And I got enough people around me to communicate and
Did I just say that? I'll leave it at that.
you know, the details with everything. So I'm fine.
Should you talk?
How much of the support from your teammates has led to some confidence in this moment? How much have they kind of rallied around you from training camp to now to make you feel confident to go out there?
A lot. I would say the teammates are definitely a big portion of everything, but at the same time, they have their own jobs they have to do also. So I have to take that upon myself to know that I have the responsibility, you know, to bring this team a win on our side of the ball. So I got to do what's necessary to do that.
A win shall come in Las Vegas, the best place, and he's gonna come back. Gonna have a fourth quarter comeback win versus Las Vegas Raiders.
I think it's some certain scenarios, you know, I could have been tighter, you know, with my footwork or anything, but when it comes from film study and from everything, there's a lot of things, you know, from that side, you know, I've done well, and you know, minus the couple things going into the game, of course, that I could change, but all that's about feel, you know, all that's about a different feel and about getting the reps and doing everything like that. So I'm excited and doing to the game as the time went on. You seen the comfort, you seen all that, you seen the juice behind it. So I know I can get to that place. So that moment was a moment of hope, you know, and I hope we all have.
You talked about how excited you are.
Now expectations gonna come behind that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Put a W in the chat for Shador Sanders.
Do you think that these guys will, the coaches will give you an opportunity to have some of your comfort underdog?
See, I ain't got that much motion here yet. You know, I don't have that much motion here yet. I got to win some games. I got to do what I got to do to be able to make some requests. But right now, you know, I'm just excited to be on the field right now.
You talked about how
Put your dubs up in the chat.
in the mornings go over the tape of the previous practice regularly. What do you get out of those sessions?
Morning run coming up next.
I got a lot knowing, going through the checklist, going through the reads and all that. But look, all that stuff changes whenever you're in a real game. Like honestly, like it feels way different. Like I don't know, Hungry Dog's cool, but it's not like the real thing. You know what I mean? So like that keeps you, you know, mentally, so you don't go out there and be a disaster. But I don't think I think it's cool. I don't know if it genuinely prepared you to go out there in an actual game, you know, and be able to dominate. You know.
You talked about how
Thought about like, dang, we really just lost that game. Like it could have been so close, you know.
Right.
Could have been small details that we've done different to be able to win that game. So,
But so what do you think the emotion's going to be going out to take that first snap in Vegas?
I think it's everything we all think. I think it's gonna be exciting. I know a lot of y'all gonna be there. I know you can't miss it. You cannot miss this moment. It'll be definitely exciting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and
going
girls,
out
y'all
there
check
with
us
the
out.
going out there,
That's Shador Sanders coming. Y'all check us out on the morning run coming up next. And we'll have more later on. It's the biggest dog Chico to the city place. So you're telling me while this man was trying to play his first game in the NFL, you had people breaking into his house. Man, folks ain't nothing, dog. New update just came out about the burglary at Shador Sanders' house while he was playing in his first official NFL ball game. And while he was doing this, we had people rumbling through his house. Looked like they stole $200,000 in property, according to reports that just came out. $200,000 in property was stolen from the home of Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shador Sanders during a break-in Sunday, according to police and ESPN's Daniel Oyefusi. 3 suspects enter Sanders' home about 6:46 p.m. Eastern Time, according to a news release from the Medina County Sheriff's Department. Surveillance cameras in the home captured video of the suspects entering and exiting different portions of the home. The suspects were wearing masks and gloves and were seen exiting Sanders' home around 6:58 p.m. with property belonging to Sanders. My gosh, my gosh, could you pass on this message for me, which is very damn sad that Shador has to endure this and go through this during his first. Like, it's like everything they're trying to pile up everything, man. You got to overcome this, and that, just to be able to do your best and be focused and play a ball game that you were blessed to play. Now, Daniel is a Cleveland Browns reporter for ESPN. Used to work for the Miami Herald and the Baltimore Sun. So I'm gonna go to this Twitter right quick. Shout out to Adam Schefter also. Go to this Twitter page, and you will see it right there. Approximately 200,000 was stolen from Shador Sanders. Let me know what y'all thinking in the chat. Also, shout out to Gucci. Here are some footage from the real Pac-Man Jones. Shout out to Pac-Man, of the suspects entering the house of Shador Sanders and leaving. I can't wait till you sell them bags. What happened in the dark gonna come to light, right? So what y'all really think y'all gonna do? Sell Shador Sanders custom bag or custom jewelry that I'm sure it is? You can tell this on the youngsters too, man. Oh my gosh, y'all went in there to get designer bags and clothes and stuff. And how are you going to sell it upon it? What are your plans for this stuff, young fellas? YNs or YCs, whoever it is that's doing it, it's a daggone shame that a brother has to go through this stuff while just trying to play football. You feel me? Show this one more time. Check it out. Young dorkies. Young damn dorkies. Going in this man's house while he trying to play a game. But just like Pac-Man said, it's going to come to light. Whoever did it, it's going to come to light. They're going to try to sell it. Somebody ain't going to be with it. They're going to say, man, you burglarized Shador Sanders' house? What you doing? We supposed to be trying to make it comfortable for this man up here, not worse. What y'all doing? They probably got switches and everything, too. Prepared to kill for whatever reason. So glad nobody was in the house, man. Oh, my gosh, this is sad to damn see Shador out there trying to play a football game, and this what these young fellas doing in Cleveland. Well, I'm sure it's going to be some 24-hour police security outside of his house now, and why not? Sanders' debut was already challenging, replacing concussed teammate Dylan Gabriel in a 23-16 loss, potentially compounded by this off-field distraction. Though no public statement from him addresses the theft's emotional and preparatory impact. Goodness gracious. Almost tripped me up right there, like I'm Ocho. The incident, investigated by the Medina County Sheriff's Office, highlights ongoing security vulnerabilities for high-profile athletes. Exactly. If these guys are out there playing a football game, how is it not any security at your house 24/7? And why would you be leaving? Like, you just saw the rapper 6ix9ine and those people run up in his house, right? And held his mom at gunpoint, right? Man, if I'm doing any public type performances, I'm somewhere out in the public, like, and people see me on TV, like, why wouldn't I have, especially if I have like a huge mansion or a huge house, something like that, or valuables or things of that nature, right? I would definitely have 24-hour security, or at least make it look like I got 24-hour security. Have a security stand. Have a guy sitting there. Have just a whole bunch of signs out, something to deter these people from just coming into your house, especially young fellas like this, man. How is everybody always Robin Sanders? Remember what God said, take heed, I overcome your words sound like an inside job to me. I don't know if it's an inside job. I just think that these like professional athletes are on TV so much and you know exactly where they are at all times. You know they're not at home because they're on live TV. If you find out where they live and you mess around and case the place and they don't have any security or things of that nature, hey man, it's like for some guys who want to take that risk, it's worth the risk. They get 200,000. They feel like, well, you don't get 200,000 in cash. You get 200,000 of valuables that you would now have to go and try to pawn or try to sell to somebody on the street. And more than if you looked at the jewelry Shedeur Sanders wore on his neck, right? Most of those things were custom. Shout out to Taji Diamonds. Most of those were custom pieces, right? So if you're going to try to sell a charm with a S2 sign on there, who gonna buy that? Knowing that this man just got robbed. Now, if you try to just go sell the Cubans or something like that, maybe that will. But most of his Cubans that I've seen that Shedeur wears have been custom type things. Like the jeweler will know if he made this or not just by looking at it. I don't know what these guys be looking at, man. Be thinking about. Like, what are y'all thinking about doing this, man? Who y'all gonna sell this to? Who gonna be dumb enough to buy it? Wow, man. But they didn't find a receiver. Now that's funny. That's wrong as hell. That's funny though. And y'all keep saying, did he have an alarm system and cameras? The cameras obviously caught them, but there is no camera that's going to stop people from intruders. No camera's going to stop an intruder. Like they're going to have to look at the camera and decide, but no camera's just going to stop and say, hey, you stop there. And then people stop. No. It's a sad case and it's terrible. Let me know what y'all thinking out there. Shedeur will bounce back from this. I don't think it's going to have any effect on how he plays this week. He might have had to spend, an hour or two here thinking about it there, but I think Shedeur is so laser focused with all the things going on outside. He's able to focus in, put those blinders on like a racehorse, and focus on what he has to do this week, which is prepare for the football game in Las Vegas. And hey, man, get security. I got insurance, all that stuff, whatever they took. Get security, keep them out there 24/7 or whatever. Hell, they might not come back now. So you might just need security at nighttime. Give me a couple of big cane Corsos on the outside. Would have ate them little fellas up right there. I'd have had a couple of dogs out there. What? Why would you assume there is no alarm? Exactly. Why would you assume there is no alarm? There could have been an alarm. They could have cut the wires. They could have not tricked the alarm. Somebody could have not turned the alarm on. Or it could be an alarm and they're now trying to get out. And the police responded late. Who knows what it was, but they got in and they got out with some stuff in about 10 minutes. And this is the footage that we have of them. And now I would suspect they're going to try to go sell this to somewhere, whether it's in the hood for pennies on a dollar. Like I got that computer back in the day. Chico, I got a computer for you. How much? 150. 150. It sounds too good to be true, which it was. Take that thing home, open it up. You see a name that you recognize. Like, damn. Did y'all just have a break in? Yep. Man, I think I got y'all computer, dog. Don't ask me where I got it from. Just know I got your computer. It's going to be somebody that's going to report and say, man, these guys tried to sell me a Cuban or a link or a necklace or some Balenciagas or whatever designer stuff, bags or whatever it is they have. And we know that it didn't come from them or anywhere around here. Matter of fact, we think it came from Shedeur. We just heard they had a break-in. They're going to have to travel hundreds of miles to try to sell this stuff or try to sell it online or just bust it down, take it to someone they got to already have a connection. They got to have a connection that going to receive stolen property and then melt down the gold and then try to sell the diamonds, break it down like they do the cars when you steal a car or when they stole a car, you take it to a chop shop. Maybe they can do that. But if you're trying to sell these things whole, dog, you tripping. You are tripping. They're gonna have to have a connect to melt it down, is what I was saying, Duff. I appreciate you. Definitely a bad look on Cleveland. I know it can happen anywhere, but still a bad look, especially after his support for the community. Now that's huge right there. I just posted that on my Facebook page. Like, this man is a man of the community that went to all the surrounding areas, and this how y'all want to go take advantage of it. You say I'm going to go break into his place while he's obviously on TV and at work. If y'all want to stay up to date, man, if y'all haven't followed already, go to BiggDoggChico Sports Talk on Facebook, where you can stay updated and up to date with everything that I'm doing and I have going on. I don't always drop videos, but I will always post online, as we just saw Coach Prime.
It's a question of when, not if, but can you take us in the emotions of
He said
Shador
he
going
had
in?
just spoke to Shador too, and also
Christoph from Girl Sports into the game, and just as you're watching it as a dad.
if he had just spoken to Shador, then he knows about the burglary and everything else going on.
Sports, I have
Yes,
two quick ones for you. First is, we know it's a question of when, not if, but can you take us in the emotions of Shador going into the game, and just as you're watching it as a dad?
I was in the office alone. I told him this past week that he was going to play. It's going to be one way or another. I thought the Ravens would have played better early on to provoke him getting in. I didn't want him to get in by injury because I'm fond of Dylan and I want him to be successful as well. But I didn't want that to happen. But getting in the way he did, I know there's going to be some inconsistencies of a lot of things because I know football. But I was happy for him just getting the opportunity and running on that field because I know the fight behind the fight. Yeah, if I can say that modestly. I know what's been transpiring behind the curtains. And I'm just proud of him because he's not just saying the right things, he's doing and living the right things. That's just who he is. And I'm glad through trials and tribulations there has been a consistency of the thread that he's been speaking. And just like the things you guys heard for a couple years, that's who he is. And they keep trying to make him out to be somebody else, but he is who he is. He's a Sanders.
And then
He is who he
you
is,
said
though. He's a
You
Sanders.
know some of the names that the administration is looking at. How involved Christoph from Girl?
Let me know what y'all think about that. Coach Prime's comments on seeing Shador for the first time. Like I said, man, y'all go check out BiggDoggChico Sports Talk, where we keep y'all updated on all Colorado Buffaloes, Shador Sanders, Coach Prime, Travis Hunter, Julian Lewis now. Content at all times. Only because of you, Jesus, is what Julian posted just yesterday. And I got them all right here online. Shout out to Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Also, go to mybookie.ag, bet, win, get paid, sign up at mybookie.ag and use our code TMR. That's TMR, the morning run. Use TMR when you sign up and make your bets today. That's what Uncle Neely was talking about earlier. Dallas Cowboys being the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. They rubbed them the wrong way, did it? But at the end of the day, man, we got to pray for Shador. Hopefully everything is okay. His house was broken into on the day he played his first game. Coming from reports, shout out to Adam Schefter and all the local reporters up in Ohio. Let me know what y'all think and hit the like, subscribe, comment, all the other good stuff. A rain camera would be a good thing out there. Rain camera would be a good thing. Shador going to be in Las Vegas. Hopefully this game will not go like last game. He'll have that week to prepare. He'll go out there and be balling out of control like his name is Jermaine Dupri. Shout out to the A-Town, College Park, Decatur, and everywhere else in between. Y'all know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe, comment, all the other good stuff. Biggest dog Chico to the sea and the place to be. I'm going to be up and about this thing. Put your chakras up. Put your black fist in the sky and wave your rebel flags high. That's right. Roll damn tide. I'm going to be up and about this thing. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah, you bitch. Nah, you. Easy. Let's go. Hit that cash app also.
Just one follow-up. From your perspective, what's the key to staying on schedule on first down and making sure you put yourself in advantageous, second and shorter?
Being creative. and understand what we have. Do you understand what we have on offense? Like, it's hard to deal with 4.
Yeah.
You know, 9 can fly. 8 can do his thing. We got a tight end that this kid can really play. I mean, I'm talking about he can really play.
Zach.
Yeah, we just have not gotten him in the situations that we should have, but this kid can flat out play. I think this kid has pro ability. The line has been suitable and valuable. They've had ups and downs a little bit in the season here and there, but for the most part, these guys have been blocking their butts off, and we got running backs that can run. So with all that I just said, we should move the ball, and we should have some consistency in that. It was interesting.
Cut right on time for that, Ben.
See you later, Indiana Jones. My fault. I don't even know who that is. How we doing, guys? Good. Hey, Wizzy.
Adam, you want to start us off? Sure.
Hey, Ben, senior day coming up. What do you think your emotions are going to be like on Saturday?
Yeah, so it's actually not going to be my last game in Folsom because I have another year. But it's going to be emotional seeing a lot of my friends go. Obviously, you know, we got a lot of seniors on our team, and guys like Arden and JB and Mata and guys that I've been around for a few years now. You know, it's going to be sad to see them go. But yeah, it's not going to be my last day, so I'm looking forward to that.
Go ahead, Matt.
With that, what have you learned from this year that you want to help kind of instill in next year's team, you know?
Yeah, I've learned so much from this year, and especially what it takes to be the leader that you need to be. I think that's definitely the biggest thing that I've taken away from this year is how much my role has to increase as a leader, because that's really what you need. Like, the competitive spirit has to come every single day, and pushing the people around you has got to come every single day, and it's got to start with how I play and how I bring out the best in the people around me. So I think, you know, obviously there's a lot more, but to narrow it down, I got to step it up as a leader and be more vocal about things that shouldn't happen and things that should happen and that kind of stuff. So,
Because that's been a consistent theme that we've heard all year, like lack of leadership. You know, everybody said it. So has it been glaring to you?
It's one of the things that's been pressing on my heart. You know, that's what God called me to do. That's the personality that I was made for. That's the heart I was made for, was to be a leader. And I wasn't a good enough leader this year, and that's part of the reason that we are the way that we are. You know, I take full responsibility because I haven't played the role good enough to win enough games, and so part of that's on me. You know, but it's something's got to change with me. So it starts with me. Yeah.
Hey, Ben, Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. Just curious, when did you find out you were going to get an extra year, and kind of did that flip a switch for you? I'm sure you were all in on this season, but did that flip a switch about looking forward to the future and what you guys can build for next year?
Yeah, most definitely. I think I found out in May. I just haven't told any of you guys. But yeah, so I've known for quite a while that this wasn't going to be my last year. But it's definitely exciting, obviously, because, you know, this season hasn't gone exactly the way I had hoped, and there's a lot of things that I wish I could do over that I didn't quite do correctly. But, you know, the good thing is I got one more shot at it, and I'm going to leave it all out there, and a lot of things are going to change, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So,
just following up on that, you mentioned the leadership. Does that kind of translate to the offseason and trying to keep this group together? Because obviously what you guys have building, especially with some of the young guys that have played well the last couple of weeks, do you want to take a hands-on approach to trying to keep everybody here?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, obviously it's a different ball game now, and a lot of people are going to choose to make their own decisions. And you know what? We'll do it with or without you. That's the thing. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a new thing, obviously, with the transfer portal and having one session and all that kind of stuff. But I'm looking forward to, you know, the guys that are going to choose to, you know, we're going to turn this thing around and we're going to be different. And we're not gonna follow the crowd. So it's gonna be a super cool thing. So.
Hey, Ben, Brian Howell, the Daily Camera. A couple questions for you. You've unfortunately been through other seasons like this where you guys aren't going to bowl games. What's the challenge of getting the team motivated to play when that bowl game carrot's not there anymore?
Yeah, ruining other people's shot at a bowl game. That would be. I mean, me personally, I just hate losing. So that's enough of a motivation for me. But teams like Kansas State, I don't think they're quite at 6 wins yet. I can't remember exactly their record, stuff like that. But obviously Arizona State's bowl eligible. But why not take them out of the running for the Big 12 for the conference championship? So that's kind of the thing that would motivate me. And I hope it motivates a lot of guys. But yeah, that's kind of the mentality we got to have heading into these games is we don't want you to make this bowl game or we don't want you to make the conference championship. And so that's going to be our mindset heading in.
And then put you on the spot. I'm going to ask you about this guy over here.
Yeah.
Both of you are Colorado guys. And,
Yeah.
this is his last home game. How much are you going to miss him and some of these seniors that you've played with, for whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is?
Yeah, no, Arden means the world to me, man. And we got, one of the people that he played with in high school is one of my best friends. And so I've, a couple of those guys that went to Cherry Creek, I've been around those guys for quite a while now. And a lot of them are super close to me and they mean a lot to me. So, other guys, other seniors like JB, Mata, like I said earlier, those kind of guys, it's going to be tough, seeing them go. I mean, me and JB, that's my fishing buddy, that's my hunting buddy. Like, we do a lot of things together outside of here. And, just going through some of the times that we've had to go through together. And those guys have always been there for me, and I've always been there for them. And, it's the brotherhood thing, it'll never leave us. But, unfortunately, there's a time that's going to come where it's everyone's last time playing out there. So, it's love for the game, love for each other. So.
Hey, Ben, over here, sorry. Pat Graham, Associated Press. I guess, given everything your head coach has gone through with the overcoming cancer and the losses a little bit, I guess, what have you learned about him through this season?
He's a tough son of a gun, and he'll never quit. He's, I don't think he even cares what happens to him, to be honest with you. You can't even tell that he's going through something because he shows up every day with the same attitude, the same mentality, and he doesn't change his approach with anything. So, he is who he is. It's just adversity to him, and it's just something you got to push through, and that's what I admire about him because some things you just got to push through, and no matter what's going on. So, yeah, tough son of a gun is what he is.
Ben, what's good, my boy? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, bro. Coach Prime sometimes talks about like leadership. Like sometimes it's not as sweet as it looks because like when you kind of step out as a leader, like you kind of put yourself on a pedestal and people kind of look at you kind of at all times. How difficult is that? Kind of balancing being a leader and obviously having your own stuff and own responsibilities to kind of worry about on the field and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely tough. You're the guy that when the lights are bright, your name's getting called, but when the lights aren't so bright, you got to shoulder the blame and take it all. So it sucks at times, but the rewards that'll come from it, you can only benefit. And through the highs and the lows, you're gonna. It's not always going to be fun, but, you're going to learn a lot from it, and it's things that you can take into the rest of your life, so it's good.
One more thing, I was listening to Kenny Dillingham talk this week about, this Colorado team, and he was talking about just perspective about how people just see a win-loss record and fail to realize how far a program has come.
Mhm.
For you as somebody who's been here as long as anybody on this team, in what way, I guess in the biggest way, has this kind of program, this place kind of changed from, let's say, 2022 to today?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I love Coach Dillingham, so it's pretty cool that he said that. I really respect him and look up to him. But boy, this place has changed in ways that I cannot explain. But yeah, there's been, like I said, there's been a lot of highs and lows, and we're on the gradual climb. And I know it may not look like that with our record right now, but there's a lot of things going on, and we're going to continue to get better, and I promise you that it will only go up from here, especially heading into next season. And so that's why I'm really looking forward to what's to come, and just stay with us because it's going to be fun. So, yeah.
Hey, Ben. Jack Harlow, Buffs NSI. How's it going?
Jack Harlow.
Looking ahead to the future a little bit, with your safeties room in particular.
Yep.
Just how excited are you to kind of develop alongside guys like Tawfiq and John and TJ Branch? Just how excited are you for the future of that group?
Oh, I'm super excited. It's defensively, it starts with the safeties. And so, we're going to continue to progress, and we're going to get better, and that's going to bring the whole defense along, because it's got to come through our set of eyeballs, and it's going to be led through the safety room. And so, yeah, we got a bright future, and we're going to continue to push each other and get better, just like we have all season. And there's a lot to look forward to. So.
Three more, Matt. Go ahead.
Hey man. So piggybacking off of what Scott and Brian were talking about, right? Like, okay, you don't have a bowl game to play for, and yeah, you got to look forward to the future with leadership and stuff like that. But here comes Juju, and you got 2 more games that could potentially really springboard you into the offseason, where they're going to hit the recruiting trail hard and all that. Is there an extra little sense of juice that's kind of been reinvigorated back in this group the last couple of weeks since he's taken over?
Most definitely. Obviously we didn't get the outcome we wanted against West Virginia, but there's a positive to bring out of it. And you guys saw the way that he played too. And so I hope that recruits are seeing that and are like, this kid's got a bright future and understands the people that we have here. And it's a lot to lean on, and it's a lot to look forward to. And it gave me a huge light on the inside that, that this could really turn into something, because I'm excited for Juju. And like I was telling him, is you have a great opportunity, and you can show the world right now who you are with this opportunity that you're given. And so it's good. I don't know. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
How have you seen him grow throughout the course of the year? I mean, he came in at 17.
Yeah.
And now he's got the keys.
Yeah. No, he actually hated me in the spring because I was on his tail about little things and what it takes. And he actually came up to me this summer because I was like, "You changed, buddy." I would give him I probably shouldn't say this, but I would give the quarterbacks a depth chart based on their work ethic in the spring, and I put him bottom of the pack about every single day, and that's really why he hated me. But it got to him. And then this summer, I didn't have to be on his butt as much, and I was like, "Bro, I'm proud of you." And he was like, "You know what? Thank you," because he appreciated the fact that I was on him the whole time, and that I never gave up on him. And I gave him his props. I was like, "You come a long way, dog." And yeah, he's going to continue to get better. Obviously, he's super young, like, he damn near be my kid, but he's going to continue to get a lot better, and the lights are going to be bright for him. So I'm excited for Juju. It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
What's up, Ben? Jake Schwannis, DMVR. Just to kind of go with that, can you take us on the field? What's it like going to, lining up against Julian, defending his legs and the arm, and just the instincts and poise he has playing the game too?
Yeah. I think one of the things I'm really looking forward to this upcoming year is, as he gets more confident, you can tell he's got that fire and wants to talk smack. And heading into this, like, I love talking smack, and I love trying to get in people's, trying to chat with people. So he's got that. He's gonna want to talk back with me, and that's the thing is, when we're doing that, it's gonna elevate everyone around us. If you have a safety and a quarterback who are the 2 most competitive people on your team, you're gonna go a long ways. And so it's gonna bring the people around us up, and that's really what I'm looking forward to, is because he's starting to get to that point, and really me too, because this was like really my first year playing defensively. And now that I've, started a good set of games and played a good number on defense, and as Juju is going to get more comfortable too, like, it's going to build our confidence with each other, and it's going to be fun to just go, head to head with him every day. So it's going to be fun. Yeah.
There's a chance you could see one of your former teammates on the other side this week. Obviously, Tyson's turned into a pretty good player at Arizona State the last couple of years. I was just curious what you remember going up against him during his freshman year here, and kind of seeing his progress over the last couple of years now.
Yeah, no, JT's a talented kid, and I'm happy for him, because it's obviously a guy to see him transfer and do well like that. It's cool to see. And there's obviously a couple other guys that played here too, like Kendrick Breedlove and Shimon Mateer, and I've stayed in somewhat contact with Breedlove too, so it's I'm excited to see him, and it's cool to see him balling too. But yeah, no, I hope JT is healthy and ready to play, and it's going to be a fun battle, and it'll be a homecoming for him, and so I'm sure it'll be a good moment for him too. So yeah, but it's cool to see what he's doing and what some of those guys are doing over there. So
Thanks, Ben.
yeah, thank you. Appreciate y'all.
you want to start us?
Hey, Arden, Nikki Edwards, Yahoo Sports. What are your emotions going into senior day and playing at Folsom one last time?
Honestly, I'm grateful. It's definitely kind of crazy to see how fast college went by, and obviously starting at Missouri and coming back home, and then also just starting with Coach Prime and going with him for these last 3 years. Definitely coming down to the wire, I guess. Now it's reality. So if anything, I was like, wow, I'm actually here now. So on top of that, especially being a legacy buff as well, like so much stuff on the line. And honestly, as I'm really thinking about it too. From in terms of just like that team from the like that era of like the 90s and things like that, someone of like the last kids in the generation too, from like playing standpoint. So definitely got a lot on my shoulders, and put a chip on my shoulder this week. So.
Brian, go ahead.
Arden, with that, you didn't choose this place coming out of high school. You went to Missouri first and
Yeah.
made the decision to come here a couple years ago. Are you glad you did? And what's the journey been like for you to be here as a Buff?
Oh, 100%. I'm glad that I was able to get back into the black and gold for sure. I feel like I bet on myself coming out of Missouri back in 2023, and then I'm grateful that Coach Prime gave me a chance. And I think that obviously I made enough noise, and I'm able to take my game to where I want to go. So.
Jack Harlow, Buffs on SI. I asked Coach Prime this as well, but outside of getting another win or two, just what does finishing strong look like to you?
I mean, I feel like it's more about the win. I feel like we got to get 2 wins, and I honestly want to send my guys in the room that are seniors out the right way. Not only just me, but I feel like the people that also work with me every day. Like I want to send them out the right way, and then even some of the underclassmen, like just going to leave an impression on them too. So I just want to make sure that we're enjoying these last 2 weeks and we go out with a bang for sure.
Hey, Arden, Brandon Cristal, Guerrilla Sports. You obviously could have gone a bunch of places when you left Missouri, so how much pressure was there going to a place where your dad had so much success, and then what will the emotions be like for the whole family, not just for you, on senior day?
I mean, I didn't feel any pressure, to be honest. I felt like, if anything, was something my dad honestly told me was just, like, at the end of the day, it's your life, and you don't want to drive in the ship. So I feel like I just wanted to give myself the best opportunity and prove it to myself, if anything. But my parents are proud of me. My family, my goddad, like everybody who's coming to the game, they just want to see me do good, and they've been nothing but proud. There's been a smile on their face almost every week, despite how things have went. But I just want to continue to keep making them proud, if anything. So I'm just glad that they're here, and I'm very appreciative and very blessed to just be in this situation.
Hey, Arden, with this new era of the transfer portal and, kind of 1-year stints at a bunch of places, how important is it to have Colorado kids on Colorado's team?
Yeah, I mean, and then me getting in the portal from 3 years ago is totally different from how it is now. I mean, keeping it real, it's like free agency. So I think that's something that I have when I have talked to guys like from Colorado, and they come up here and they're like exploring opportunities and stuff. Like I'm telling them, like, to be honest with you, how it's moving, first when I came and I was getting into the portal and things like that, it's a way different game. And I want them to understand that coming out of high school, like, we really got to be on it. And I feel like, if anything, Coach Prime does give people opportunities to come play as an underclassman. So that's a plus from our program. And I want to say, like, if a Carl kid feel like they can play in their first year, I feel like take your chance. So I want them to stay home as much as they can. But like I said, at the same time, I just want people to be in the best situation possible too. So.
This means a lot to you, and obviously, coming back here and wearing that logo. We were
Right.
just talking with Ben about, the transition to Juju, and clearly you want to leave this place, and you want to leave this place in a good spot. How do you feel like things have kind of transitioned now that Julian's taken over and kind of heading off into the future?
I mean, I think when I seen Julian in the spring, it was like his growth from from a maturity side, it started from there, and like I think he stayed consistent from the season on. Like from fall camp, he was just getting his feel in terms of just transitioning to gearing for the season, and then now like he's just been staying ready the whole time. So I'm just happy for him to he's very poised in the pocket. I feel like he stays pretty calm and things like that, despite that he's only 17 years old. It's like, man, I see a lot in him. There's a lot of potential there, and I just want him to make sure he maximizes it, if anything. So like I said, the maturity side is something that he definitely progressed through this whole season.
you feel like the program's in good hands and that he can handle the weight of what's coming on his shoulders?
For sure, he ready for it. I could tell. I mean, like I said, since day one he came in, definitely relaxed, laid back kind of guy. Which I mean, we kind of got along as well. So I talk to him off the field all the time. So he's a real good kid. Like I feel like he's ready to play. If anything, he's hungry, and I could see it in his eyes. And obviously, you've seen when we played West Virginia, he made a couple plays that stood out. And then I think he got like PFF Player of the Week too. So man, like only way is up for sure. And I hope he does what he's supposed to do.
Arden, I know coming back here, I'm sure there was probably a lot of familiar faces you got a chance to see over the last couple of years. I knew you were close to Julian Hammond on the basketball side. Just how rewarding has the last 3 years been for you, just maybe reconnecting with people and building off relationships that you maybe started in high school?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool to see. Actually, Julian's coming to the senior game too. So, but I feel like coming back, just seeing familiar faces, and then even some people on campus that don't play like football or like whatever sport, just kind of reconnecting with them, and then making some of those connections I had in high school. Like I feel like it still went a long way. I think Cherry Creek. I always tell people it's like telling them I went there is like you went to Harvard almost in Colorado in a way. But I feel like from that side of just those connection sides, I enjoyed it, and I'm very appreciative because I still talk to people, and people were always showing me support and showing love. So, like I said, being a hometown kid and taking full advantage of it, I think that's what I did these last 3 years, and obviously my face has been around places now too. So, it's been nothing but a blessing for sure.
Hey, Arden, Shane Holcomb, Scobo Sports. I talked to Coach Prime a little earlier about how retention kind of has become the new recruiting in college football, and you've obviously had those conversations in the past when it comes to the transfer portal. So I guess what's your message to some of these players who are a little bit on the fence right now of sticking with this Colorado project?
I feel like they got to trust the process in a way. I know it's easy just to jump and move and things like that, and sometimes you got to water your grass. Yeah, that's really what it's about. Like I feel like it's hard for me to say that, even though I did get in the portal and stuff like that, but if they do take that chance, it's like you still have to rebuild and do whatever you have to do. Because when I first got here, I still had to like recreate myself and then reestablish myself when I got here. So, like the guys who do have opportunities and they actually have been playing things like that, like I want them just to kind of trust the process and see where they can go with it, because like you never know what could happen. And so, I do want them to stay if they can and make the most of the situation. Because I mean, there's some good people on the staff that believe in our players and things like that too. So, like I said, everybody got to help everybody. That's how I feel about it.
Thanks, Arden. Appreciate it.
Director of Athletics, Mr. Rick George.
There he is.
Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Man, doing good, y'all.
Man, I've
As
been
we
looking
have,
forward to this all day.
man, look, we've been looking forward to it all week. Like we really appreciate you, the time you carved off of this. Let me say something to Chico and the chat watching. Rick, we got people from all over the nation tuning in, from California to New York. One thing I can say about this fella here, Rick George, if you were to go up to the 5th floor right now, I guarantee his door is open. He has an open door policy. He loves having conversations like this. He's not a leader that hides and doesn't want to discuss issues. So appreciate you taking the time out to do this, but not surprised that you took the time out to do this.
I've been looking forward to this. I asked to be on here. I'm honored.
You
to be
did.
on here. Appreciate
I
you
want to go back to the beginning if we can, because I wonder, when you have a hire like Deion Sanders or Coach Prime, there had to be some people who's saying, man, Rick, what are you doing? This is crazy. Have you had the I told you so moment, whether it was that victory over TCU or Miss Peggy to a bowl game? Have you had that moment you say, I told you it was going to work?
I'm not a I told you so guy. I was very confident in my decision to bring Coach Prime here, and couldn't be more excited about what he's done. And there's still a lot to be told on this story, and we're just at the beginning. Certainly that TCU game was really special, and you can see the way we embraced after the game. That day was special to me, and it's a memory that I won't forget. But that's just the start. We're in the infancy of what Coach Prime's going to do here. If you think about, we went from a 1-11 team to a 4-8 team, and to a bowl game last year, 9-4 on the season, and we got a lot of high expectations for this coming year. So I'm not a told you so guy. I'm confident in the decision we made. Coach Prime has exceeded expectations, in my opinion. And the future is so bright, as Timbuktu says, I got to wear shades.
I like that. It's not like a Neelyism.
And they're
right?
blenders, then they're blender shades. That's all Dion will let me wear. Matter of fact, I might even have a pair on me today. Gotta promote. There you go.
That's right. Like those. AD, Mr. George, can you tell us, a lot of people don't know, we were just discussing before you came on about your football history and your background. Can you let everybody know, starting from the beginning, your football background, and how did that lead you to being in the position that you're in right now?
Yeah, look, I was very fortunate, recruited by Gary Moeller and Lloyd Carr. Was my defensive back coach at Illinois a long time ago. I won't say how long, but was a 4-year starter at Illinois. Lloyd Carr taught me a lot. Played defensive back, and Dion and I were very different. He was very skilled, and I was just this tough hitting defensive back that hated man-on-man coverage, but had to do it as a corner. And starting as a freshman, I was real fortunate and blessed, and played against some really good people like Anthony Carter and Kirk Gibson and Leo Lewis, and some of these players that a lot of people don't even know today that came up immediately after I graduated and played my last football game. I became an assistant recruiting coordinator as a volunteer. At 23, they named me the recruiting coordinator for football at Illinois. I stayed there for 5 or 6 years. Coach McCartney, I reached out to Lloyd Carr and said, hey, can you call Coach Mack? I hear they've got a position and opening as a recruiting coordinator that's off the road, because I was traveling a lot and I had a young daughter at the time. And Lloyd called Coach Mack. We met at a Fairview Boulder game, which is a big game in our community. And we watched the game together, and he offered me the job, and was here through his national championship year, recruited a lot of those guys, and then moved on to different opportunities that included running a PGA Tour event in New Orleans, the president of the Champions Tour, running the PGA Tour, and then and then going to the Texas Rangers, where we went to 2 World Series, and then got the call from Chancellor DeStefano, who I had a relationship from my years ago being at Colorado, because it's all about relationships, right? And I can tell you that's part of the reason that Dion's here is we had mutual friends that I didn't know were communicating with him about me and about CU, and and again, that's what it's all about. But I'm thrilled to be the AD here, and having Coach Prime here has really lifted all the boats in our that we have, all of our sports programs and our university, and the Dion factor is real, the Prime factor, as they call it.
Yeah, you teed that up perfectly for me. No pun to your PGA background, but I want to talk about that Prime effect of what he brings to the table. When you look at what takes place in Boulder, all the way to Denver, all over Colorado, and not just during football season, but year round. And I see the IPF now has the Ford name on it. What have you been doing, to capture that synergy with the Prime effect and with CU athletics, to form those strategic partnerships to help grow the program?
Look, we've got a great team. Our Buffalo Sports Property, led by Andrew Popchuk, does a great job. When you have the viewership at the level that we have, I think we were 7th in the country last year, at over 55 million viewers during the course of the year. We were the only school in the country, I believe, that was on every major network every week of the season. And when you have that kind of exposure, that brings value to our corporate partners, and we've seen that grow. Ford's been a longtime partner of ours, but they wanted to elevate their relationship with us, and now they're our partner on the indoor practice facility, and sustainability is key for them in their electric vehicles, and they can promote that to audiences all across the country and the world, for that matter. And Coaches, him coming in here, everybody said that, are you ready for this? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for anything. Well, it was a lot. It was a lot more than I anticipated. And now we're seeing the fruits of that. He's going to be here another 5 years, and I'm really proud of that. But we're just getting started, and the partnerships and I will tell you this, and I think this is important for student athletes that are out there looking at schools, and for our current student athletes. When you have that kind of exposure, it helps your brand, and we're telling our student athletes, all of them in all of our sports, utilize the platforms that we have, because it's really important for you to elevate your brand. Because we're being seen by TikToks, Instagram, X, and all these different YouTube and all these different mediums that when Coach Prime came, we were doing okay, but now we're really at the top level of that visibility. And while you can say what you want, that visibility is really important. It gives you different opportunities and different options as you move forward.
That's the prime effect right there, right?
That's it.
Yes, sir.
And if you could explain it or describe it in just a few words, how would you describe the prime effect?
I'd say the first thing, it's a lot, because again, if you look at, what he's done here, I think even you look at our stadium, and there's more color in our stadium than we've had in the past. And when we go on the road, we're helping fill stadiums all over the country, and they're in CU logoed apparel. You look at Shadur's first start that he had for the Cleveland Browns in the preseason. I saw more Colorado gear than I did anything else other than the Browns. And so, it's that kind of effect. It's, he's one of the best athletes in the history of sports in this country. And, you see this 20 some years or 30 years after, 20 years after he's played, and he's still a prominent name and a prominent figure in the sports world. And he and I talk about this, and we laugh about this all the time. There's people that love him, and there's people that don't like him. And, and those people help, they're watching the games, they're doing the things. And, and how can you not love this guy? I mean, look what he's been through in his life, to this point, and what he just went through. And he maintains this even keel about himself, that, he's got his faith that's really important to him, and he leans on that in really tough times and good times. And he does the right things, and he's been an incredible ambassador for this department and this university and our program.
He certainly has, man. And the things that he has sacrificed personally just to coach football, I don't think anybody can question, his dedication to it. There were all kind of rumors out there that once his sons left, he was going to stop coaching. I think when you see, as you know, what he went through this summer and what he's still going through to be here, I think he's here, man. He's happy.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think he and I share a lot in common. As I said, when we were going through this process of hiring, there were people behind the scenes like a Cordell Stewart that I didn't know had a relationship. And he's telling Coach that, I recruited him, and, you can trust Rick, and those kind of things. And we're both old school, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Our faith is important to both of us. We share a lot of same commonalities, and we're passionate about young people. And that's one thing. If you come here at Colorado, you're going to have somebody that's going to take you from a young man to a grown-up in 2 to 3 to 4 years. And he's going to instill that in you. He holds them accountable. We've never had a GPA as high as we've had since he's been here. And the graduation rates that he's pushing out are incredible, because it's important to him that his young men that come here are really focused on getting that degree. Because let's don't lose sight of that. With all the changes in college athletics, we still need these young men and women that compete in sports and college athletics to get their degree, get their education, and make sure that the 4 years that they're in college sets them up for the next 40. That's our goal at Colorado.
Rick, you talked about some changes there, and this is going into my third season with Coach Prime here in Colorado. And one thing I can tell you, if you come every 6 months, you're going to see something new that you didn't see before. You know, the new jumbotron, whether it's a turf field. And in that regard, what's next? Like, what's rolling out that you can let us look behind the curtain, changes wise, is going to take place programmatically, or whether it's physical in the stadium or just operations?
Well, I mean, look, we already talked about this pop-up porta potty for Coach Prime, so that'll be the next thing. It may be the first time in history that you have a sponsorship deal around something like that. But look, our focus now is we've really got to focus on making our department budget right. We've got to, when you infuse a $20.5 million number into your budget from one year to the next, you got to be very thoughtful about how you go about that, because you can't do it all in expense cuts. Raising, revenue another 20 million in 1 year is very challenging. But we've got an incredible Board of Regents and our president and our chancellor, and we've got a lot of support in our community. And so we're really focused on growing our revenue, creating partnerships that are meaningful for our young men and women, the above the cap, for our young men and women that play and compete here at CU. So our focus is really on that piece right now. We've done some really good things. We need to fix the west side of our football stadium, which I hope to do in the next 3 to 5 years. And we've got an event center that's getting older that we need to fix. So there's some things that we're doing. Seems like every year we do something that is meaningful and impactful. I can tell you the two things I'm most proud of at Colorado, and Coach Prime is in that group. But the two other things are the facility that we built here, the Champions Center, I think is second to none. It's attached to the indoor practice facility. We've got the whole Crawford Family Student Athlete Program that is really based on data science and allowing us to prevent injuries and to bring our student athletes back quicker. So we're going to make sure that those programs are robust and still in place. And one promise I made to all of our student athletes when this House settlement came up is that we're not going to go backwards in the support services that we provide you, whether it's psychological health performance, whether it's strength and conditioning, nutrition, all those different things, academic support. We're going to be robust in that. We're going to continue to grow those. And then again, we've got to go out and find ways and creative ways to generate more revenue to allow us to compete at the very highest level, because we all know, in the next 3 to 5 to 7 years, there's going to be another change in college athletics. And my job is to make sure that we're in a position to be in those conversations as we move forward. And Coach Prime has certainly helped that.
Yes, indeed. Hey,
I'm sorry, that was a lot. So I mean, you get me going. Let's go.
I love every word of it.
I was going to talk about bridging the gap between the legacy buffs and the fans and all of the fans that came in with Coach Prime. He's coming in not just as a head coach, but as himself, as a celebrity. And you brought in a lot of people who have probably never watched Colorado football or college football, period. But they're coming in. How did you bridge that gap between the legacy buffs and the fans and Coach Prime fans?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think both the legacy buffs and those that came in with Coach Prime all want the same thing. They want to see him successful, right? And they want to see this program back to the relevance. I mean, a lot of people, because of the last 15 years, we haven't been relevant in college football. But we have an incredible history and tradition of how this football program's excelled and thrived, and winning a national championship in 1991. We had some glory years in there. Between 87 and 94 when Coach left, and all the way up to when Coach Barnett left. So we have that history and tradition. And again, I think it's the commonality. I mean, I will tell you, the first game that Coach came out and Lil Wayne's in there singing on the mic, as they're coming out. I mean, that was a little bit of a shock to me too, because I didn't know that was coming. So I'm like, oh hell, here we go. It was a lot of fun, but you never know what you're going to get when you come to CU football games. And our student body has been incredible. They've embraced it. I think everybody's embraced each other, whether you're legacy or those new ones coming in. We want to provide a great experience for you, and I think Coach is on board with that. And I just think it's really kind of worked really well together. And it's really fun when we go on the road, because we're meeting new people that aren't from Boulder that are going to our games in all these different areas. And, next year when we go to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech, that's going to be a lot of fun because, it kind of brings Coach back to his roots down in the Southeast and this team. And we've got a lot of players on our team from that area. And we're excited that Georgia Tech's coming in here on Friday next week. And that was by design. We all knew that we both shared the national championship in 1991. And I think now we've got 2 years to settle it on the field.
Love that. Love that. Eddie George, we talked about the prime effect and this impact, outside of the campus, Boulder, Denver, Colorado, even the nation. I want to go more internal with it. Coach Prime is not shy about pulling up to a women's basketball game, a soccer match. What kind of boost have you seen in the other sports, because of the prime effect of him being here?
Look, I've seen a big impact. When you go downstairs and you eat in our training table, recruits and student athlete, Coach Prime eats there every day because we got the best chef in the country, and he's interacting and engaging with all of these other sports. And when we had our welcome back picnic or our kickoff luncheon last Friday, he's apologizing to soccer because his team hasn't got out to support them like he normally does because he wasn't aware of the game that night, and because he's so focused on football. But he has that impact. If we have a recruit in town and Coach Boyle will bring a recruit over to introduce him to Coach Prime, and he'll talk to him about Colorado. And here's the one thing that where the differentiator is from the previous few coaches that we've had here. Coach Prime knows how to sell this university, this program, this community, and this department. And he does it in a way that really engages with young people, more so than any. He's rewritten the way you recruit, in my opinion, in college athletics because of his presence on social media and all these different platforms that he's so good at. And I think our other coaches learn from that, but also being able to bring them to a game and your recruits to a game, and you got a sold out crowd every week, and students are awesome. And it's just an incredible environment and atmosphere. And I think, when a program like this has success and we get the exposure we do, it's lifting all the boats and lifting all of our sports teams.
Love it, love it. Eddie George, we got a couple of questions from the audience out there. They put them in the form of super chats. I see one from DJ, $4.99 super chat. Appreciate that. He says, "Are you looking to add strobe lights and improve the sound system in the nighttime game day experience?"
Well, look, we improved the lights years ago, to make sure that they would support all these games at night. I don't know about strobe lights, but we do need to upgrade those in the future. We did that at our basketball arena, which has made a big difference where you can turn them off and on at the same time. So, we'll continue to look at that. The sound system has been an issue here. We upgraded that a few years ago. It still needs to be tweaked and get better, and that'll be a focus of us moving forward. But when the stadium's full, it's hard to hear anything.
Yeah.
But that's a great question, and I appreciate it.
Got another one from Primetime Buff Nation, $20 super chat. We appreciate the support. Says, question for Rick George: do we have any further information on playing an opponent for next year's spring game? Since we don't play Colorado State for 5 years, can I nominate them?
Well, you can nominate them. Maybe you need to lobby the NCAA and the Football Oversight Committee and have them put in a rule that you can have an OTA kind of like they do in the pros, and have an opponent that can come in and play in a couple practices and then a spring game. I think the challenge with that, if you don't do it locally, and that's why Colorado State, why not? Right? We'd be happy to do that. And we had some conversations with them about that this past spring. But, if it's a long distance one, it really doesn't make sense, because if you think of the travel costs, there's $250 to $1,000 at least in airfare and different things like that. So doing it locally makes a lot of sense. But again, the rules at this point don't allow us to do that.
Speaking of rules and NCAA, you also have a unique experience being on the selection committee and having served there. How have you been able to utilize that resource and that experience there to benefit what you're also doing at Colorado?
Look, it was one of the great benefits of my career was being able to serve on that committee. And I think it's important to know how the committee thinks and what's important to them. And, if you look at our non-conference schedule, I mean, we're playing two Power Five teams this year, which enhances our strength of schedule, and those things are really important. When you get in that committee room and having that experience of that when you schedule and all of those things matter and getting off to a great start. It was a great honor to do that. And I'm very confident in the selection committee. They've done a great job over the years. And I'd be hard pressed for somebody to tell us where did they go wrong in the last 10 years. They've done an amazing job, and I'm blessed to be a part of that.
Absolutely. I want to get you another fan question for you from Steve Maven. Super chat, $16. Appreciate his support. He says, AD, with NIL and social spotlight growing, athletes face constant attention and intrusion. How does the athletic department balance NIL opportunities with protecting players' privacy?
Look, I mean, it's a balance, right? It's a real challenge because when you get on social media and you're out there promoting, what you're doing, it's a real challenge. And we're trying to do everything that we can to ensure that our student athletes are not taken advantage of because, look, some of these ladies and men are making good money and that, has brings another level to, their scrutiny. And you might have some people that are trying to, get at their money somehow and what that will look like. And so for us, we try to educate all of our student athletes on expectations and what you can expect on being on social media and being such a visible piece of the community that is out there on social media. And look, it can be challenging. And while social media is really good, it can also be really awful. People are very critical of people because they can stand behind a wall and say all these different things, and that has an impact on the mental and physical health of our student athletes. And so we've got a robust psychological health performance team. We're looking at ways to monitor everything on social media to ensure that our student athletes are protected when they need to be.
Love that. Love that.
We have Uncle Neely, who's our resident A student. I'm going to be the C student. So I want you to break this down for us right here. That the NIL situations. If I'm a student athlete and there's a business out there that want to do an NIL deal with me, do I report that to the school? How is that broken down as far as the budget go and so on? Let everybody know.
So look, I mean, if a student athlete has a company that approaches them about that, the rule that's in place now with the House settlement is anything above $600, they have to report to this clearinghouse. And that's real important that they do that. They could be deemed ineligible if they don't. And so that goes through a clearinghouse. The clearinghouse evaluates to make sure that, it's a legitimate business opportunity for a student athlete. We're out there looking for opportunities, and then the company would decide, which student athlete that they want. But we also know that in this day and age, a lot of our young men and women have business associates or business agents that are helping them find these opportunities. So really the structure is get that agreement. If it's 600 or more in front of this committee, they'll evaluate it, and then we move forward. And look, that's a big piece of this. Everybody's got this cap of 20.5 million in revenue that you can share. Mm-hmm. It's above the cap. That's really going to make a difference, and we've got to have a robust program that we will allow us to provide opportunities for young men and women in our program to benefit from those. That's a great question, though. So you might go to A, he might go to C.
Thank you.
Sorry, Uncle Neely. I mean, I had to say that,
Brother George, let me tell you, you're spot on, but just wait 5 minutes. He's going to flip back to C. It won't take long before Chico goes Chico. I got to ask you this, AD George. I think we're in this perfect situation. I'm saying this as a fan supporter and the partnerships that I have officially with the university. I don't want to see this end anytime soon. But we got this wonderful commissioner in the Big 12. He has this New York Rock Nation experience. We got this wonderful AD, who has PGA, Major League Baseball, collegiate experience, and we got this wonderful head coach that you just signed for another 5 years. The big question is, how much longer does AD George want to be AD George? Are you sticking around?
Look, I love being at Colorado. I've been here. I just started my 13th year last week. I'm excited about what's ahead. At this point, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm passionate about this school and our programs and our student athletes. And I haven't put a timetable on anything. I'm still operating under my contract, and I'm very comfortable with that. So no big news today. I'm just making sure that I focus on the now. And the now for me is to ensure that our student athletes are having the experience that we promise, that we have the programs in place for them, that we are putting this university and this athletic department in a position for the future. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on an end game or what's my future look like. I'm just going day to day and focused on that, and going to continue to focus on that.
That was a wonderful answer.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. Maybe I can be an A-.
That's right.
We appreciate the time you've given us, AD Rick George. Man, this door is open for you anytime you want to come on with announcements, news, or just shoot the breeze with C Student Chico. We're here for you. Anything we can do at the morning run to help you be
Hey, wait a second. You said he's a C student. I think you're both A pluses. So let's go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Look.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I really do.
No, we appreciate your time, man, and looking forward to this successful season. Starting off next Friday, August 29th, right here at Folsom Field. Georgia Tech comes to town, and I'm sure you're going to see our AD out there in the locker room on the sideline getting us going.
That's right.
Have a great day, guys. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
AD. One and only AD Rick George. Right here on the morning run, baby. Where else can you find that? Nowhere. Like you just did.
What
Yes,
about
sir.
that, though? What about that?
Oh, that's super tough. That's super
They know
tough.
they know where to find it at now. They've been loving it in the chat. All they gotta do is go to unclechico.myshopify.com. Get all the morning run merch you can handle.
Middle East. Yeah, you get you. It's the morning run. Wow, you already know what it is. Big Dog Chico right here on the Bleacher Report app with your preview for the Colorado Buffaloes versus the Arizona State Sun Devils at Folsom Field this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. Number 25 ranked Arizona State still in the running for the Big 12 championship, but we think Juju Lewis and the Colorado Buffaloes are looking to be spoiler in their final game at home this season. Coach Prime and the Buff have struggled to find a way to close out games this season, have found a way to lose games due to penalties and mishaps all throughout this season. They've been that close in many ball games. So this week, they're going to try to change that. Coming off a bye week, Juju Lewis had a chance to prepare as the starting quarterback. Reports have been coming out of practice, and I've seen footage of him taking more of a leadership role on his offense, being more vocal, talking to his wide receivers, getting on the right page with his offensive line for the protection and all of those things of such. So I think Julian Lewis will play a much better ball game than he played the previous week at West Virginia, where he threw for 299 yards as a true freshman starting his first ball game. Like I said before, they'll have Jeff Sims on the other side, but they might be without former Buff and their leading receiver, Jordan Tyson, who's nursing a hamstring injury. If he's not available to play, that gives the Buffs a better chance, I would say, to get the win. As far as the tell of the tape and the key stats for both teams, Arizona State, who's 7-3, 5-2 in the Big 12, they're averaging 24 points per ball game. Quarterback Jeff Sims is completing 55% of his passes. Running back Raleek Brown, we're going to have to stop him, 823 yards on the ground. For Colorado, 3-7, 1-6 in the Big 12, 22 points per ball game. Colorado's averaging 331 yards total offense. That's 209 passing, 122 rushing. Can the Buffs step up in this ball game? Well, to do so, to get a win, they're going to have to rely on that run game not just Julian Lewis, and they're going to have to force some turnovers like they did the last time Jeff Sims was the quarterback at Folsom Field. He was the quarterback for Nebraska, fumble, pick, which helped turn that ball game for the Buffs and get a win. Can they do the same thing this week? We shall see. The opportunistic defense will have to be just that versus an Arizona State team that will give you those opportunities. But if you can't stop them in the run game, they will keep that ball. They're one of the top teams in the Big 12 in time of possession. So Colorado's defense will have their hands full at Folsom this Saturday. So y'all make sure y'all tune in on ESPN2, 8 p.m. Eastern is the kickoff. Number 25, Arizona State, 7-3 versus Colorado, 3-7, trying to get a win in their final home game of the season. Let me know what y'all think. Hit the like, subscribe, comment, all the other good stuff. Make sure y'all follow me on all platforms, BiggDogg's Big Dog Chico, and also on the Bleacher Report app. Following the ball game where I'll be live play-by-play, I will come and give you my instant reaction right after the game live on the Bleacher Report app. So download today and follow me. Hit the like, subscribe, comment, all the other good stuff. We're going to be up and around the same.
We got Arizona State coming to town. They are sitting at 7 wins already, so they are certainly bowl eligible. Can't play a spoiler in that regard, but can mess with their math as it relates to the Big 12 championship or any thoughts to that. When I look at our past weeks of inability statistically to stop the run, and I look at their quarterback who's in because of injury, and I'm looking at the past games, even though they won them, you're passing about 50% or less completion rate. I expect Arizona State's going to come here and try to run the ball.
You got to stack the box, and that's your only chance against this football team because Jeff Sims is a dual threat quarterback, and we've seen what that can provide as challenges for this Colorado defense. You hold Arizona State to under 200 yards rushing in this game. I think they come out with a win. Now, the problem is that Colorado has struggled against Power 4 opponents to do that so far this season. So, yeah, this is a big week for that front. They got to show up and they got to show out, and it's going to be an opportunity to really kind of change the trajectory of kind of the narrative of this program going into the offseason. And so there's a lot to still play for, despite that 3-7 record. And this is a tough matchup, but Arizona State doesn't have Cam Skattebo anymore. He was the heart and soul of that football team last year. They've bounced back from some tough losses. Was it Mississippi State? I think they lost to on the road early in the season. But they're 7-3, so they're a solid football program. If you're Colorado, though, you show up and do what you're capable of. You can leave Folsom Field with a win for sure on Saturday night.
Dukes, let me get your thoughts on. I look at the past 3 games passing wise, 6 of 11, 13 of 24, 19 of 28. All those are less than 50%. And then again, looking at the yards we've given up to teams, we've pretty much allowed people to exceed their rushing averages. Are you on board with Adam that stopping the run is going to be key to this? I think you muted that, Duke, so at least I can't hear you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when it comes to stopping the run, it takes when you have to load up and stop the run. If you can stop the run without dropping the safety, it allows you to do so much more in the passing game and passing defense, and it helps you. But when you have to start bringing sometimes 9 up to stop the run because you aren't able to do it out of base sets, it really impacts you as far as what you're able to do when you go to the passing game. How many times have we seen the quarterback rollout and tight end flat combination be ran against Colorado? And that's all based off of having to bite hard on pause, but having to bite hard on the run. So when you see the RPO and you see when the RPO fake roll out right, tight end flashes, it's either that or a mesh combination. Colorado's been being killed with that all year, and that's a pass that's based in a run. So I think by being able to stop the run early, you allow yourself to get a little more exotic on the back end when it comes to what you do with your safety. So I think it's paramount to them winning.
Adam?
Yeah, no, again, you hold them to under 200 yards, you're going to win this football game. This is an Arizona State team that is very solid and is well coached. Kenny Dillingham is a name that's been brought up for a lot of these national jobs. I don't think he's leaving, though. I think he's a Sun Devil, man. Like, he's got a deep passion. I appreciate that, too. Like, I think when you find a program that fits with your beliefs, that you have a passion for, and you can kind of build that over the course of time, it's really going to breed results for them. And if you're Kenny Dillingham, they're going to pay you. You're going to be just fine in life, and you don't necessarily need to chase that next carrot to have all this pressure hanging over you. I was surprised that James Franklin is not on a beach right now, and he's going to Virginia Tech. These guys were just wired a little bit differently, I guess. But Kenny Dillingham
and let them off the hook for $49 million. That's crazy.
No, you'd never see me again, Dukes.
You would be the ninja.
Yeah. The samurai. Yeah.
Yes.
Man, Adam, I was going to ask you this. So, how important? So, we've seen people ask a ton of questions about Colorado's high school recruiting lately. How important is Julian Lewis's play to helping out? And you've been covering recruiting for a long time. How important is Julian Lewis to have his play to the recruiting efforts for the high school level kids?
I think it's really important, Dukes. I know Coach Prime says we don't have a sales pitch, but you have people paying really close attention to your program when you're being recruited by them. And the narrative, if Julian Lewis goes out there and balls out the next 2 weeks, despite what Colorado's record is it's like the future is bright and bolder. And come be a part of a piece around him. Come be part of, as Coach Prime says, be a dog, don't be a cat, don't be scared off. They've lost 3 commits in the last month, and some talented players, but this is the transfer portal era. So you can find ways to mitigate that. You can find other prep recruits. The early signing period is the first Wednesday in December this year, as opposed to being closer to Christmas. So you might have some more guys that are on the market for that February signing period, as compared to recent years where they've had that later early signing period in late December. So being able to, I guess, sell is not the right word, but being able to paint a picture of what Colorado's program is going to be behind this 18-year-old that's going to only continue to get better is going to be a big part of the discussion for recruiting in the coming weeks. And so if he continues to go 299, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, show a few things with his legs, going into the offseason, they're going to be able to have that as something that is going to be attractive to not only offensive players, but defensive players want to come in and be part of a successful program as well. So it really is like, I think that the transition in the shift to the future with Julian Lewis at quarterback and some of the other guys that are coming up in this program is big for these last 2 games. And otherwise, there's no reason to tune in. This is why to tune in, is building for the future and kind of getting that momentum into the offseason.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that, Adam. And you talk about some of the commits that have been quote unquote lost. Frankly, none of them have been lost because of the record, and so you're still trending in a direction where, even though the season hasn't gone the way you want it to, the people who want to be here because of or without the record, you'll still want to be here. And I think that when you look at Duke's, what starting Juju now means to the future, I agree with everything Adam said. But I think just as important, and maybe even more important, is the track record of Coach Prime since having been in Colorado or even at Jackson State, that he recruits people to play that can help right now. He's not recruiting people to sit you 2 or 3 years. And each season that goes by, you see people out there as freshmen contributing. When you look at the Taco Bell program, other than Jordan Seaton on there, who's relatively young in comparison to what you could be in college, it's all guys who played as freshmen on these ads. And so from an NIL perspective, from a playing time perspective, from an impact that you have as a high schooler perspective, although we live in a portal era and Coach Prime was dinged pretty bad about how he utilized the portal, and now everybody does it the way he did it, no one is playing more guys out of high school than you get a chance at Colorado.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has to be a selling point. There are going to be guys. There are only so many starting positions in Power 4 football, and I think this is a program that you can sell the fact that if you're ready now, you can play now. There are some places where you're just not going to play as an 18-year-old just because of who's in front of you. There's no way you can play, and I think Colorado is one of those places that regardless of the situation, if you're the best player, you'll play. Politics be damned, NIL be damned. If you're the best guy, you'll play. And I think that's something that is important to keep in the forefront when you're recruiting. And I think you have a season that doesn't go the way you wanted it to. The good thing about Colorado and what a lot of coaches haven't had that have still had good recruiting seasons, that's what I came from, recruiting. They have proof of concept based on what Colorado did last year with the right guys, with the right leadership, with the right blend, coaching and players. All in all, it's been proven that you can win and you can win big in Colorado. So I think with that being said, I think there's an opportunity for Colorado to make strides over these last 2 games and to set yourself up nicely going into next year.
And Dukes, that's why I love. I'll circle back to it. Getting one of these 2 for sure, but if you get both of the remaining games, there's just no debate about it. And it's amazing that the opposing coach pointing it out to the world, but no matter what you think about this record, you still have a program in better shape than Deion Sanders found it. Someone handed you the keys and there was 1 win, and even in this ridiculously horrible season, you got 3 wins with a chance to get that to 5. And so as it takes a good bit of effort and time for a ship to turn in the ocean, same thing with a collegiate program that had fallen off that bad, the arrow is still pointing up. When you look at the young players out there doing their thing and people see that, it's still an attractive place, whether you're a portal guy, a grad student, or a high schooler, because you see, I'm going to be a part of something that's trending in the right direction. And it happens to have Deion Sanders as the head coach.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I watched 22, man, around here in Boulder. Things are a lot better now. I can confirm that.
Well, Adam, we talked about
now,
go right ahead.
The Utah and Arizona games were not fun. They kind of gave me some flashbacks. But aside from that, it's much better now. Yes.
Yeah, I was talking to Reggie Calhoun Jr. this morning, and I was saying, man, what was so painful about that is that they were back to back, and when you look at the 4-win season, the only trouncing we took like that was Oregon. I mean, we stepped off the bus and that game was over. We didn't compete in any facet of it and had some of our most talented players, coaching staff, you name it. But then you go fast forward and get to this season and it happened 2 times in a row. It's just like, oh man, like does 2 times mean 3 times? Does 3 times mean 4? It doesn't take a lot for a wobbling wheel to come all the way off. But I think the ship has now stabilized when you look at the performance there, particularly in West Virginia. You can almost start the season over in some regards right there because you have a new quarterback. So you go into West Virginia, 0-0. And now you're 0-1, and you want to see if Juju Lewis can get you to 2-1, as quarterback with 2 games left. Adam, we talked about the not sitting in the linebacker room and our guaranteed must that we got to keep them under 200 yards to win. Whether it's around 180 or 210, what do we need to do when we have the ball to win? What are you looking for out of this Colorado offense to put points up?
Creativity, and I know there can't be a complete makeover of this offensive identity, even when you have a bye week. But wrinkles here and there. Just you've got some things that you can work with. You got Draylon Miller and Cam Michael that can do some stuff. Wildcat quarterback wise, you just gotta take as much pressure off Julian Lewis while giving him opportunities to gain confidence and experience in that. And that's a tough mix. I mean, like, obviously that's above my pay grade. If I knew how to exactly dial that up, I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now. So it's going to be a challenge, but they've had this bye week. You can get some different things in there that maybe Arizona State is not expecting to, because you've had a few extra practices to kind of implement some stuff. But, all eyes are going to be on Juju. This is the second game of his future here at Colorado, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, and Duke's he's wearing a number. This will be his home opener as well as starter, because we were on the road when he got the go ahead. But number 10s at quarterback have been successful at Folsom Field. What are you looking for out of Juju, your homeboy from Georgia, and the rest of this offense?
Man, I just look for Juju to pick his spots to take shots. I think that's going to be important as far as not looking for the big shot every time, but knowing that it's there and taking the shot when it's there. Like, so we talk about baseball, right? If you swing for the fences every time, your batting average is going to be low. But if you make contact, 4 singles still equals a run. And I think that's what you got to do. Take the singles, dink and dunk, be patient. And then when you get your opportunities to go downfield, the good thing about Ju, he don't miss. When down the field, when you look at his accuracy, historically, his accuracy on deep balls is pretty good. And I think as far as him learning the timing of playing power forward football, playing Big 12 football, is only going to help his accuracy when it comes to deep and intermediate passes. So I'm looking forward to just seeing him be who I know he is and who he's been. We always talk about proof of concept. He's got proof of concept. This ain't nothing new. And I think and it's really dope to see how the city of Atlanta was watching Colorado. Like, of course, there's a lot of people who, a lot of Colorado fans in Atlanta. There were even more watching. You could go, like, sometimes you won't see a Colorado game in a sports bar. Damn near every sports bar in the city had Juju on, and it was a talk of the town. So it's been exciting. He's been doing it for a long time, and I'm just glad and hope to see him do it again on Saturday.
Yeah, and I don't want to go too far ahead from this particular Saturday, but when you mentioned the love there in Atlanta, I don't know if we're going to add a week 0 or quote unquote week 1 game in August, but the first game in September 2026 is Colorado at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. And so that's going to be a great time for the buzz and the Juju hype to go to a whole nother level, Dukes.
Oh yeah, it's going to be off the chain. And you got to think, like, Carrollton, Carrollton High School was built like one of those schools on Friday Night Lights. It's not quite Buford, but it ain't far off, right? And so seeing it's going to be really fun to see him in that large of a stadium at home and seeing how he performs. And hopefully, the Buffs will be in a better position than they were at the start of the season this year. But they wasn't far off this year. And that's what's been the most frustrating thing about this team is that you saw that they weren't far off. But sometimes when you have a wobbly wheel and you don't fix it, guess what? The car runs off the road. And that's kind of what happened. But you started to see remnants of what you saw or the flashes that you saw at the beginning of the season in that West Virginia game, where if you get competent offensive play, complementary football, the defense plays better once you're able to keep them off the field and they can stay rested. So I think I'm definitely looking for pace, which is important in football. We always use pace in basketball, but pace is really important in football, not only offensively, but it helps the defense readjust and gives you time to make adjustments. Arizona State could come out here and put, like, for example, Auburn plays Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago. Vanderbilt goes hurry up for the first time all season. No time to kind of adjust. They put up 40 points on Auburn, who hadn't given up 24 points in the game all season. No time to adjust. So by being able to play complementary football and you give the defense time, you give Livingston, you give the guys in that defensive huddle a time to make adjustments. And I think that's why we always talk about complementary football, and that's one of the unsung reasons why it's so important.
Yeah, I love that, Dukes, and I'm gonna start where Adam started with that creativity. And I think that creativity, excuse me, has to start on first down. When you got a freshman quarterback with his second game, putting him in an advantageous situation with second and third is very important, and that starts on first down. If this offense with that creativity, Adam and Brett Bartolone making it happen, if we can get somewhere between 4 yards on first down, that really just opens up a playbook for like a Juju and what you can call, and it just puts the defense in a state of unreadiness because they don't know what's coming. They don't have a lot of film on this guy unless you go back, to high school. And with the creative package and doing some things you didn't show in West Virginia, you got an opportunity to keep this defense, quote unquote, on his heels. And when it comes to Juju, the hair is braided this week, so you will not be tackling him by the hair hanging out the back of the helmet because it's braided and it's braided tight like Chico. So we're good to go there. I like what he brings to the table. I think, again, doing some creative things on first down, to stay well ahead of the chains, opens up the playbook and even more creativity on second and short and third and short. Even situations where now you can even go for it on fourth down because maybe it's fourth and a yard or fourth and inches. because you took care of business on first. I think just as much, Adam, as you said, keeping these guys under 200 yards wins us the game, rushing. I think watch what we do on first down or don't do on first down from an offensive standpoint, and that's going to dictate the outcome of the game as well.
Yeah, that's really well put. I think with Julian, part of this process has been just maybe taking ownership of this, right? Like he's such close friends with Caden Salter. Do you think that there was some apprehension of him just kind of trying to step into this leadership role the way he has since he's gotten that call because of that?
I don't know about apprehension the way it was framed there, but I will tell you this from my optic test, my eyeball test. Whether it was summer one, summer two, or whether it was fall camp or either first two or three games, I think a young 17-year-old Juju Lewis was comfortable being the heir apparent versus fighting for the job and proving he could do it now. And so I think he just took a kind of a back seat to the name of Salter and who was QB1, almost from a respectful standpoint. Like, no, my time is coming as he is now. I will just wait my turn instead of, claw scratch to get it. Over those weeks after that, particularly when Staub got to play in Houston, I think you saw a new Juju at practice and in meetings, and he rose to the occasion. And now since getting the job, before the bye week, going into West Virginia, et cetera, he looks the part. Adam, have you ever talked to somebody, you know them, but you've talked to them so few times you don't recognize their voice? I don't
Sure.
know if the players in this team 3 weeks ago could have picked up a phone and knew that was Julian's voice on the other side because they didn't hear him. You know Salt's voice, Jeremiah Brown's voice, Ben's voice. There's certain people in the room, you're coming down the hallway, hell, Warren Sapp's voice. I don't know if people in this organization even knew what Juju Lewis sounded like 5 weeks ago. But now everybody does because he's vocal. He's accepted that leadership role. And I think that's going to translate onto the field, especially if you can put him defensively, in a situation where we got some 3 and outs going, offensively, where he's successful on first down, and you can take those kind of shots that you're talking about, Dukes. And the same thing with special teams. I would rather give my freshman quarterback in his first start at home 60 yards to get to the end zone than 80 because I didn't do something right on special teams. So special teams is going to play a big role in his success as well.